In a world where humans lay eggs,
Amanda gets pregnant. That happens first.
and then she's like, oh.
We don't show that. It's just a flashback.
My goodness, what's about to happen? And it's big.
And then she's like, what is this? A baby? What is this, a faceless, really white baby? No, it's an egg. Then
Omelets?
she draws a face on it and puts it on the body of a dog because she's in denial. This can't be an egg. This has gotta be a baby. And then she plays with it. And then
she
makes it into an omelet. And then she eats it.
Okay.
December
Am I even here?
2018.
Can I add anything to this trailer?
Tell him what kind of omelet it is.
Denver.
That's right.
All right. Welcome to Good Mythical More. This episode of Good Mythical More is brought to you by Warby Parker.
Head over to warbyparker.com/GMM to order a free home try-on today. Choose your favorite pair of the 5 and then have your prescription added later when you order.
Open that up. Warby Parker makes ordering glasses, prescription or not, easy, fun, affordable, starting at $95 a pair, and they'll come to you in 10 days.
And this is pretty cool. For every pair that they sell, they actually distribute a pair of glasses to someone in need. Now, I'm not actually in need of glasses right now, but I might be someday. Who knows what's going to happen to my perfect eyes?
Try these.
I actually haven't had my eyes tested since I was like a baby.
Assuming like an interested interviewer and I can tell my wedding proposal, my marriage proposal.
warbyparker.com/GMM, and the link is in the description.
Those are clear, and then they have a...
Jeff Goldblum?
Every time you put on glasses, period, you think you should talk like Jeff Goldblum.
I should talk like Jeff Goldblum. I don't really have a good impersonation of him, but
look at me.
He's very serious. He's very cool, though, at the same time. He's very serious and he's very cool. He's the kind of guy that...
Those are cool, but not for you.
I would like him to be my friend, but I know that he would never be my friend.
I know that, too.
He'd be like...
what do you think of these glasses?
I know of you. I do not want to be your friend. I do not want to be your pen pal. Link.
What do you think of these glasses?
I'm really happy with them. Link, I hear that you have a sort of embarrassing story about your marriage proposal.
I'm sure.
I'm inclined to hear you tell it.
Okay, I'm sure I've told this story in some capacity before. We share so many stories from our past. In this case, distant past, because I've been married a long and glorious time.
Is that for your wife?
But yes, that was for her.
What was it? Oh, that's nice.
Schnice.
Let me take.
But I'll share it again because we were talking about marriage proposals, and I'm a kindred spirit to Pan Coon, who did not have a ring. Spoiler alert: I did not have a ring. I certainly planned on getting a ring, and I didn't have a bunch of people dressed up as human-sized carrots.
It is the intentions that are most important.
But Chrissy and I have been dating for at least a year and a half. When we spent the summer apart.
Circumstances hearts grow fonder.
Yeah, circumstances dictated that we be apart for the summer, so we became pen pals.
That's so romantic. Circumstances dictated.
We had the phone and we had letters, but we did not use email because I didn't want to use email, and it was a fledgling thing that I only used for college assignments.
It was a conscious decision to not use the email.
Yes.
Interesting.
You remember way back in the day, email was not, and there was no instant messenger to keep a long distance relationship going on. So it was physical letters.
Well, okay.
And they got very physical.
Thanks for clarifying.
They didn't. And phone calls. So this was,
And how often did you speak on the phone?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
Not every day.
Okay, not daily.
Not daily. But we were apart. It probably ended up being 12 weeks. I don't know, the majority of the summer. And then I went with her parents to pick her up at the airport. And the day before she came back, I decided that I was going to propose marriage. And I went and I asked her parents' blessing and all of that. And I showed up, and they said, fine. I was like, now listen. Fine. If that's what you want to do, fine.
Yeah,
I know we can't stop it.
If we're forced to
That's not what
accept
they
this circumstance, if the circumstances dictate that you're going to get married, we'll be okay with that.
But I said, but here's the important thing, future father and mother-in-law.
Yes.
You cannot say anything to her about it. It has to be a complete surprise.
Keep it on the down
for
low.
approximately 2 weeks, because I estimate that's how long it's going to take for me to get a ring and then propose.
Okay, 2 weeks.
And then
Had you been saving money for the ring?
Yeah, I had the money.
Did you have a ring picked out?
No.
Okay.
Because
Did you have a supplier?
my mom knew a woman who I was supposed to go visit. Yeah.
Okay.
Who like ran a jewelry store. It was a legit jewelry store.
It was a legitimate jewelry store.
It all happened kind of last minute. It was like, she's coming back. I can see her parents before she gets back. It'll make it easier for me to do it secretively and get their blessing.
Right.
And so then the next day we go to the airport and she comes out and it's like, oh my goodness, there she is.
Miss America.
In person again. And we go back to her parents' house and like, I'm just thinking, oh, I'm gonna marry this girl. I'm gonna propose.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
I'm so excited. But I gotta wait 2 weeks because I don't have a ring. And then that night, we took a romantic walk around her neighborhood, and we come back from walking the neighborhood.
Now, what's going through your mind at this time as you're walking?
I'm gonna propose
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks,
Right.
or less maybe, because this is pretty exciting. And I hate secrets. I can't keep a secret.
Okay.
And so we're walking back, and then I remember being down on one knee. I don't remember making a decision to do it.
Accidental.
I was in
kneel.
her yard, in her side yard.
In the side yard.
Wasn't even in the front yard.
Very romantic.
If I really thought about it, I'd have been in the front yard, because her parents had like a spotlight that shone on the front of their house. Because, just look at our house when you're driving by. I could have been in that, but I wasn't. I was in the dark.
Eastern North Carolina night.
Yeah.
Side yard, the mosquito light zapping somewhere on someone else's property.
I realize I'm down on one knee, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing this.
Doing what?
Proposing. And I had this, I had a speech prepared. Like, I was already going through that in my mind about what I was going to say. So I did have that.
How did that work out?
Loose. I mean, you know how it is when I like loosely have something prepared. And
do you recall what you said?
I don't recall everything I said, but I remember holding her hand down on one knee and looking up at her and saying, Christy, will you marry me? I don't have a ring yet, but I promise I'm going to get one. Like, that's how I said it.
How did that go over?
And she started crying, and she said, I don't know if she said, I don't know what she said first. I think she said yes. And then she was like, I don't care about the ring, and a bunch of other lies about how she, but she did say yes, and that's all I remember hearing. And then I was like, I apologized profusely. And then we went inside, and her parents were like, what just happened? You're an idiot. But all is forgiven, and it took.
And how
the marriage took.
How long did it take to get the ring? And at that point, was she able to go and choose it with you?
It still took.
Because that's the advantage of your method, is that she can be the one to choose the ring directly.
Oh.
If the circumstances dictate, you didn't follow.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Oh.
No, I just went and got the ring.
Interesting.
And I gave it to her approximately a week later.
Now, at what point in your relationship?
I probably should have got her to go with me to pick it out.
Did she bring this up as an example of how big of a moron that you are? And how often does she bring it up?
It doesn't come up as often. Like when all of our friends got engaged over time, it would certainly come up as a don't do this. Well, like you're about to get, if you're thinking about getting engaged, don't do this. An example.
I'm familiar with your wife.
And it doesn't come up that often anymore, but
she's spoken with me about this a few times. Not just the two of us, but when we're in a group, and I've heard her speak of this. And the way that she phrases it these days is if she's telling a story.
Oh, really?
She says, "And of course, he didn't have a ring."
Oh,
because after being married,
this is what people that know me
for 15 years. It's of course he didn't have a ring.
Well,
at the time, I overlooked it.
But if you didn't know me, you would think that of course would mean that, like, of course you know that he's a very spontaneous guy. I'm not a spontaneous guy.
No.
So
no,
what
no.
she means by that is
Forgetful.
an idiot.
Yeah, just a general moron. I think is
Not forgetful. I knew I didn't have a ring.
Well, congratulations.
That was it. But I mean,
I hope we have a great future together.
and I bet Pan Coon and his wife are doing great too. And I bet they
Yes.
talk about those carrot costumes all the time. Just like
Yes.
I talk about, I didn't have a marriage certificate. I should have had printed off a picture of a ring or something. There's lots of things I should have done or could have done that I didn't. And it worked out. That's the lesson, Mythical Beasts,
there's
is that
there's always your next marriage. You can get it
it
right
works
the second
out.
time.